Wyrd Realities explores the paranormal, preternatural, and supernatural worlds that surround us. Here we delve into those topics that challenge us to think outside the limitations of realism, where we test the boundaries of imagination and are forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our Wyrd Realities.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Watching Wyrd. On our countdown to Halloween, we are talking about the Tales from the Crypt version of the Apocalypse, Demon Knight, and Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior. So, a good week for movies.
I love Mad Max. That's one, the Road Warrior, I should say. It's one of my favorites.
I got stuff to say about it. Nothing bad. I mean, it's good, but we'll just have to get into it. Mr. Restucci's going to be a little bit late, so y'all get to deal with Scott and I shooting the shit for a little bit.
Hi, Landa. And Alan won't be here tonight, I don't think.
Yeah, Alan got stuck at work. Max Crom, it is good to see you in the house. And Landa, as always, it is my pleasure to see you.
Yes, good to see you, Max. And I forgot, happy birthday, Hadley.
You know it's not my birthday, right?
Yeah, well, I was wondering about that.
Facebook says it's my birthday. That's why I was joking. I said, well, because I think Rich pointed it out. And he said, well, it must be Hadley's birthday. And I said, I guess so. It's not Heather's. So my birthday's in April. But
yeah, because I was wondering why we weren't doing a Hadley birthday thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed it. I think it must be associated with whenever I started my Instagram account.
Maybe.
Because Wyrd Realities started around this time of year, was like when we were making all the social media stuff. So I probably just put that date in for Hadley. Anyway, it's crazy. So I was telling Scott before the show that I found me a place to live on the coast. And our good friend, Jen Sammons, is going to come stay with me for a little bit. So, y'all will see more of her probably.
Good.
Or hear more of her.
You go later.
Yeah, she's excited, I think, about the coming to visit me on the coast. So. Well, Landa's saying they changed hers too. Yeah, it's just weird, Landa. I don't know why they changed mine. I like I said, it's a random date. I would have thought that I would have picked something besides the 24th, like Halloween or something that I would remember. But yeah, so Alex got stuck at work. Rich is on his way. He will pop on in a minute. So yeah, we're excited to be here and talk about these wonderful movies tonight.
And the final episode of Bad Monkey.
Yes. So good. Craig Boland's in the house.
Hey, Craig. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Demon Knight. I forgot how much I like that movie.
You know, I'd never seen it.
Really?
I'd never seen it. I'd seen Bordello of Blood. And I didn't even know that the Tales from the Crypt had made this one. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, damn, I wish I'd seen this earlier.
I think I went to see it when it came out at the theater when I was in high school. So I kind of remember going to see it. But, I mean, I liked it. I really liked it. I think it might be my favorite movie with
Billy Zane?
What's his name? Billy
Zane.
Billy Zane. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big Billy Zane fan.
I think it was the first time I saw him. Well, I think it's the first time I saw him as a bad guy.
Doesn't he always play a bad guy though?
I think in his beginning times he was playing romantic leads, and there's something about him I don't really care for. So I like him as a bad guy because he just kind of seems like he might be a bad guy.
He was a bad guy. He was a bad guy in Titanic.
Yeah, well, that was later. That was much later.
Yeah, what made me feel old was last weekend. when I was at the convention and they had the cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because they were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
50 and I remember that when I never saw it, but I remember when it came out when I was a little kid. And that was 50.
I have a box of t-shirts to send you, by the way, Scott. I have them all boxed up. I just have to take them by the post office. And I have been meaning to do that for like a month or two now. But I'm sorry. Okay. I hate going to the post office. But,
yeah, he was bad in Titanic. He was such a, and I met him at a convention once, and he's kind of a weird guy.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. But I think that probably wasn't the first thing I saw him in, but I mean, Tombstone was probably one of the first things I saw him in. And then this movie was one of the first things I saw him in.
Billy Zane was in Tombstone?
He was really good in that movie. Or it's a series, I think, that's on Amazon Prime that takes place in Belize.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Tombstone, the movie with Kurt Russell.
He's in it. He plays the foppish stage guy that gets killed.
That was Billy Zane?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to rewatch that now to see that. Rich and
Rich is on his way. Alan is working.
Yeah. So we're just.
Let's go ahead and jump into it with Demon Knight. I've got a summary written up, so I'll just kind of go over it. I've got some trivia, and we'll just get started. And Rich can jump on when he gets here.
All righty.
Okay. All right. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight is a horror film that serves as a standalone installment of the anthology series Tales from the Crypt, for those of you who don't know. It follows the story of a mysterious stranger played by William Sadler who arrives in a small town and offers a valuable artifact. I don't know what I'm reading. I don't think I saw that. Did you see that? So he arrives at a small town, offers a valuable artifact to a local pawnbroker played by Billy Zane.
No, I don't remember that.
I don't either. Well, apparently my stuff is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start over and say, so this movie starts off with some really good music from the 90s, and there's a car chase, and the guy's name is, was it Breaker?
I don't remember.
I'm going to have to get my IMDb up, guys. Hold on. So this movie, it takes place in the 90s. It's got some really good soundtrack to it. Scott probably doesn't appreciate it like I did. I'm a kid of the 90s. Or
no,
late 80s,
it wasn't bad.
But the song was what, Nice Shot? And I can't think of who sang that song. It starts off with the Crypt Keeper setting up the stage. And it does star Billy Zane and William Sadler.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith is in it before she was really famous. I think it's probably like the first thing I ever saw her in it. It's got Thomas Hayden Church. John Shuck plays sheriff. And then there's a couple of other character actors that you'll recognize. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, not Dennis Miller, but the Miller guy was in it.
Dick Miller.
Dick Miller, yes. And
who was the guy that played the deputy sheriff? Kind of.
I don't.
I was going to say, wasn't he in was the one with Timothy Olyphant, Deadwood? Was he in Deadwood?
I
could be pulling way off here. Anyway, so this is basically Billy Zane plays a demon who is sent to collect this. It's basically a religious artifact, I believe, filled with Christ's blood. And for some reason, the devil wants it back. And these demons are sent to get it. And so it's this apocalyptic setting of, the end of the world is going to happen if this guy gets a hold of this. And it's a key, a special container, which there's 7 of them that have been scattered across the universe to prevent the forces of evil from taking over. Billy Zane plays the collector who, if he gets the last key, the universe will fall to chaos, and he has been tracking this, and I'm going to say demon knight, because it's like a medieval knight type thing, to this town. And they have this terrible car wreck. That's when it starts off. And it kind of starts there is when the real plot begins. And this guy's limping. He makes it to a truck stop kind of place. Tries to steal a car, can't do it. Ends up being taken to this old abandoned church that's kind of been turned into a hotel / kind of courthouse. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it starts. Billy Zane gets picked up by the police. He tells them that he's after this guy that's stolen this artifact and he's looking to get it back. These people, these Keystone cops don't ask any questions. They get, just take him on his good nature, I guess, to go to this hotel and pick him up. Anyway, it goes from there. There are demons, there's goo and ooh and blood and guts and deception and magic and, possession. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to let Mad Max take it over from here. Scott, what did you think?
Oh,
I'm so excited you've never seen this.
Yeah, I was telling Hadley earlier, this is the one movie from the Tales from the Crypt I didn't even know existed until I called it up. It's it's perfect for a Tales from the Crypt movie. It's what you would expect for if you were which I was a huge fan of the series. You're led to believe at the very beginning that Billy Zane is the good guy and that William Sadler is the bad guy, and it turns out that it isn't. And the cross with the Christ's blood in it, if you put a few drops in the doorway, it sets up a barrier, so the evil can't get in unless it's invited in. And Billy Zane is constantly trying to convince some of the other people to let him in. Hey, Rich.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No problem. And it's like, oh, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he is such a dick in this movie, Billy Zane. I loved him in it for it. He was good, and I'm not a big Billy Zane fan, but the movie it's definitely worth the watch. It's fun. It's got some gore in it. It's got that typical undertone of dark humor that you would see from a Tales from the Crypt episode, and some of it's predictable, some of it isn't, but it's really well worth the watch. I would definitely, if you haven't seen it, and if you're a big fan of the Tales from the Crypt and movies like Bordello of Blood, definitely go see this.
Hadley, did you go yet?
I kind of tried to set it up.
Oh.
Yes.
Alan's not able to join us tonight, so Scott and I are just trying to keep it together till you got here.
Yeah, so clearly we're doing the Demon Knight movie.
Yes.
I like this movie. I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, you have to go into it understanding that it is in fact going to be, a Crypt Keeper flick. So you're not going to get grade A special effects. There's going to be blood. There's going to be boobs. There's going to be bombs. That's just the way it is. It was done pretty well. I'm a guy that likes the Trapped movies, and that's what this was. I mean, you got demons sprouting up all over the place, and they can't. The cast of heroes, which is actually a pretty stellar cast when you look at who it was, they can't get out of their church slash hotel because they're surrounded with demons, and William Sadler is putting sort of pure blood on the doorway so nobody can get in, or the demons can't get in. And of course, what they can do is they can Billy Zane can possess someone and put a demon inside them, which is I thought was pretty cool as well. And again, I'm a huge fan of the Trapped films, so this works for me. It's almost a zombie movie. I love zombie movies, so this is.
Well, that was why I picked it. I picked this movie for the apocalypse because it's a different kind of apocalypse, but it's still apocalyptic, and we love those kind of movies. And I thought that y'all would have a good time watching it.
Yeah, I had actually seen this many years ago. I think it came out in '95. It's a fairly decently old movie, and I watched it, back then, probably on Cinemax or whatever it was on HBO, whoever had the Crypt
HBO
at the time. Yeah, and it's not going to win any Oscars. It's not going to win any horror movie type of awards, but it was well done. It was I like Billy Zane's character. There is some sappy crap that happens in it with when he's dancing with Jada Pinkett Smith, but she's in her underwear, so that's good. But it was that was okay. But the rest of the film, even when what's his name, is it Dick Miller? Is that the guy's name?
Dick Miller.
Yeah. When he goes, his fantasy was pretty good. But,
Yeah.
it was like I said, if you're in for the gore and you like that kind of thing, and it's kind of sappy gore, this is for you.
Yeah. Well, to me, it is one of those. It's like a great midnight movie, for teenagers to watch or preteens when you're home alone, just kind of your parents have gone out. It's not too scary that you're gonna not be able to stay at home by yourself, but it's still kind of fun. And it's not too funny, but it's got it. And for the time, it had a really good sense of humor to it, and that was the thing about the Tales from the Crypt series was it had that humor to it.
Yeah.
And I think every episode had an homage to the actual comic, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was pretty good. This did it had like you said an homage, but this was the first. I think the first film, the first Crypt Keeper type of show or whatever that wasn't directly based from the comic. I think all of the other ones came from the comic books. I think I read that someplace. And I think this was the first one. And this actually came out before Bordello of Blood. At least I think so. I think Bordello of Blood came out
after. I think Bordello of Blood came out later.
Yeah, I think it did. I think you're right. But
so Tales from the Crypt, the series was on HBO. Gosh, in the 80s?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And there was the Tales from the Crypt that was 3 short stories. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, let's see if I can find the date. So yeah, the release date for this was 1995. So I was in college at the time, not high school, as I was saying. And Bordello of Blood came out. Let's see. And who was the supermodel that was in Bordello of Blood? The one that was married to Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. She was very pretty. I can't remember.
Okay, Bordello of Blood came out in 96. And it had Dennis Miller in it. Erica Eleniak and Angie Everhart.
Angie
Brandon.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think Angie Everhart was married to Sylvester Stallone. I could be wrong.
I don't know. But I remember Erica Eleniak and Angie Everhart and Dennis Miller, of course.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun movies. But the Tales from the Crypt was fun.
It was. It was exactly what I wanted as a teenage kid. I
Yeah.
wanted to see, blood, boobs, and brains, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
So as a 15, 16-year-old kid, that's what you want to see, and it was perfect. And there was some of them had some pretty good stories as well. There were several of them that were excellent. And the film that was the one with the happy birthday thing, right? With the old man, the dead man he starts killing everybody because he wants his cake.
Yes.
And another one was the first Cat's Eye one with it was sort of like a little troll lived in the wall, and it was Drew Barrymore, I believe, right? With the cat, and the cat's name was General. I think it was either that or Cat's Eye. I can't remember. But and then there was the one with Robert Hayes where Leslie Nielsen buried him up to his neck with the TV so he could watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the one with the thing in the crate?
What's that? Oh, the crate. Yes, I forgot the crate. Yes, that was the best one.
With Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I had forgotten about it. How could I forget about the crate? It was the best of all of them.
Yeah.
That was so scary.
Yeah.
So Angie Everhart was not engaged. Her and Sylvester Stallone were engaged. They never married. I'm just making sure that y'all know I corrected myself.
Oh, okay.
So what are we going to rate this one?
That side. But yeah, so this was a fun watch. Going forward, I probably wouldn't have paired it with Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, but it was fun.
I liked it. What would you rate it? Hadley?
Oh, that's kind of hard because I would say, because I don't want people not to watch it because it's a fun watch. I would say at least like a 3.75.
Scott?
I'll give it a 3.5. And that's only because it's the movie, like you were saying earlier, it doesn't have great special effects. The acting's is corny, but that's what it was meant to be. So the 3.5 is not saying anything bad about the movie. You still got to see these movies at least once to enjoy them.
Yeah, I'll cut you guys right in the middle. I'll give it a 3.625. How does that sound?
Okay.
Right in the middle. Because I agree with both of you. I think it was pretty good. I'm definitely better off for having seen it. I would recommend everybody watch it just because it's exactly what you need on like a Sunday hungover Sunday morning. So that type of thing, or late at night when you got nothing to do and you're like, I watched this, and I'm just gonna do this now and fade off to sleep. Perfect film.
I would say if you have some kids that are young enough to see boobs, old enough to see boobs, too young to go to an R movie, this paired with Bordello of Blood would be a fun watch for some preteen boys.
Yeah.
Or girls.
So
I think it's a safe thing you could probably watch as a parent with your kid that's in that age group and just kind of have a fun Halloween. I think that you could probably do that. I'm not a parent, so I could be wrong. We'll preface that. But yeah, I think it's a fun watch.
Great.
All right, Scott, are you ready?
Yep. We did the Road War. I did the Road Warrior. To me, there's two type of post-apocalyptic movies. There's the realistic ones, The Postman, The Road, Book of Jericho, The Day After. And then there's the bizarre adventurous ones, and God knows, Damnation Alley and so many others. But this is a priceless classic. If you've not seen this, shame on you. You shouldn't be watching this podcast. It's the sequel to Mad Max, except whereas Mad Max was more of a cop gone bad movie, this one takes place after the end of Mad Max. The atomic war wipes everybody out. and there's only a handful of people in Australia. And Mad Max is one of them. He's got himself a dog. He's still got the limp from the first movie. He's still got the police car. But now he's driving around, and the whole thing is gasoline. That's what everybody's looking for. Gasoline so they can fill up their cars and move to the next location. And I mean, he runs into on his first attempt, he runs into a motorcycle. He runs into part of a huge gang. Vernon Wells plays Wes, who's this psychotic guy on a motorcycle. I mean, he is just, throughout this movie, he's like the number 2 villain. And he winds up, Mad Max winds up meeting, oh God, I can't think of his name. Bruce Spence. He played the gyro cat.
Yeah.
And it all comes about that they find this group of villagers, not villagers. They find this little settlement around a oil camp, and they're producing all the oil. And the bad guy, Humongous, who's just awesome in this one, wants the oil. They've got the oil, but they have no way of getting it out because they need a truck. So Mad Max makes a deal with them. I'll bring you in the truck. You give me enough gasoline so I can make it around. They do. He brings the truck in a really cool scene, and then he leaves. Humongous's people go after him, wipe him out. So he comes back. Yeah, the gyro captain brings it back. And he agrees that, his car is gone, his dog is dead. So he agrees to drive the tanker truck and try to make it through the roadblock and evade the bad guys. Awesome movie. It's not a huge budget movie. The special effects aren't that spectacular. There's really not that many big name actors from the time, but it's the final action scene when they break out of the camp and they're trying to get away from Humongous is it's phenomenal. One of the best road action scenes of any movie. I love this movie. I could watch this movie 1,000 times and I never get bored with it, even though you know exactly what's going to happen. So, what do you all think?
Adler?
They killed the dog.
They did.
Yes.
I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, it's a little Boo Bradley. Look how cute he is. Oh, and he was just like, great. And then it was over, and I have not recovered. I liked the movie a little less. I will say this about the Australian flicks. There's a lot of not talking. There's not a lot of dialogue in these movies, which is good. You don't need it, really. But the dog thing kind of bothered me. I enjoyed it. I know that I saw this probably 15 times as a child, but there was a lot of nuances that I missed. Which one was the gay boys?
Was the what?
The gay boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What they called them, and I was like,
Vernon
oh.
Wells.
And then I was like, why do they have assless chaps on with a tail? And I'm like, oh, they're furries before they were furries. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And y'all, knowing that Scott's favorite movie is just making me internally giggle. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this one. It's fun, though. It's got young Mel Gibson in it before he was like Cuckoo Pants. And it was, it was Mel Gibson when he was Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of my favorite movies that he's in, if not the favorite.
Yeah.
It's where I discovered Mel Gibson.
I think that's where we all discovered Mel Gibson. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. So to me, this is the quintessential 1980s post-apocalyptic flick.
Yeah.
You don't get much better than this. This is actually two movies. This is a trapped movie, which, as I just mentioned, I love because they're trapped inside their compound. And it goes from a trapped movie right to straight to a chase movie. It goes from trap to chase, two of the things that I absolutely love because it's just, there's so much action. And when you're filming these things and you're traveling 60 miles an hour, excuse me, and you've got, bolts from crossbows flying and rocks flying and these handmade weapons blowing up, and you got a guy flying around in a little whirly bird dropping Molotov cocktails. It just doesn't get a lot better than that.
No.
The villains in this flick, fantastic. The heroes are great. It's hard to beat. Now, my friend Chris, who is he's a huge Max Rakatansky guy. He lives up in New Hampshire, and he actually calls himself Max on Facebook. He's another lover of this film. We see eye to eye on this, and it's not just this. I mean, Mad Max is also a fantastic flick as well. But I think The Road Warrior is Mel Gibson's best movie. I mean, people will say, "Oh, it's The Patriot," blah blah. And I mean, that's the best acted movie, blah blah. But this is his. I don't give a shit about anything. I'm gonna do this the way I want to do it type of flick, and he just rocked it. 2 days ago, I saw a rig that'll steal that tanker. It's just absolutely fantastic. And one of the things when people are talking about this film that nobody ever mentions is the feral kid, the kid with the boomerang. Yeah. He is one of the best characters in the entire show, and he's got no lines. He just grunts and growls.
Yeah.
I have a confession.
I'm sorry?
I thought it was a little girl.
No, it's a little boy.
No, I've realized that watching it now, but when I was younger and watched it, I thought it was a little girl.
Yeah. Oh. Understandable. Papa Gallo, excellent character. There's just so many. Even the toady, the guy that he said, "Look at the humongous." He gets his fingers cut off by the the boomerang. Absolutely fantastic. There's nothing bad to say about this film. Like you said, Scott, it didn't have the best budget, but this is a cult classic. Everybody, I've never met someone that didn't truly like this movie. It's hard to say, "Oh, I don't like The Road Warrior," because you're getting a smack. Because
they needlessly killed the dog, and Rich Restucci still liked it.
You know what? I really do. I don't like senseless violence against animals, but it made sense for the dog to die in this movie, even though I didn't want the dog to die, because you never want the dog to die, but it made sense. So it fuels your anger, and it makes you hate them that much more.
Well, I feel like he John Wicked it,
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
He didn't go into it, but what changed his heart was they fucking killed my dog.
Yeah.
Because he was done with those people. He wasn't going to go back and help them. What did it for him? Was it a car accident, or was it the fact they killed his faithful companion? Faithful companion got killed. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was.
And
sure.
He does look a lot like Boo. It was hard.
Yeah.
And
I just heard the little whimper off screen, and I thought, no, they did not just kill that dog.
Yeah. I never liked it either. I never liked it, but it doesn't lose any stars for me because of that.
And even the end, after the crash, I should have seen it coming, and I didn't, because I was just so involved with especially the scene when Humongous comes over the hill in the jet, and he's heading for Max, and Vernon and Wes is sitting there on the grill looking at him, screaming. I mean, that was just great movie.
It really was. I think it was Max Crumb, our Max, that I saw up above saying that they got the dog from the pound.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
he did
that's
that.
pretty cool. And Hadley, they didn't really kill the dog. It's just a movie.
I know.
So you can overlook it and say, "Hey, this is a great flick." Now, if they had actually harmed the dog, well, then I would have been up in arms.
No,
I'd be able to tell you right now with a big axe. What?
If they were going to do it, they did it the best way possible. But I
Agreed.
still didn't like it.
Agreed.
Mainly because it looked like my little fella sitting next to me watching the movie.
I know. Look at what Ash just said. Ash says, "I hate when they kill the dog."
Even Ash
And it makes
the dog.
and what that does is it fuels your rage. It fuels the viewer's rage toward the person who kills the dog because they're just a heartless dick if they can do that. You want to kill that guy over there, this woman, that dude down the street, who cares? You kill that dog and F you. You just don't do that. So you hate that person, and that's exactly what happens after that. I mean, you already don't like them because they're clearly the bad guys, but now you hate them.
Well, they also did that not with the dog, but the opening scene when they take out the car, they shoot the guy, and rape the girl, and then shoot her.
Yeah.
You know, and then the two guys they put in the front of the truck and like burn them and torture them. You love watching these guys. You know they're gonna die. You just can't wait to see how good they die.
Yeah, it's all about the death. True story. So, Scott, what are you ranking this flick?
This is a 5.
Hadley?
4.5, only because they killed the dog.
I'm going to give this one a 5.1. This is one of my top 5 all-time favorite movies. I love this movie. It does, again.
Y'all just like the assless chap.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. It fits so well in the film. It was just perfect. In the middle of the desert, assless chaps. I mean, come on. Think about the sunburn, and the guy just doesn't care because he's a psychopath. Fantastic.
Humongous was the villain's name, and you just can't beat that.
Humongous.
Like if there was a cheesy leather-clad, looks like he's got some kind of deformed head.
Yeah.
The guy.
And they
But I want to talk about the dog a little bit more.
Well, they made
the dog should at least have to bite somebody. We should have at least got to see the dog bite somebody. He should have at least launched toward that guy. He was just sitting there.
Defending him, though. He was defending him. You know, before he could even go after the guy shot him.
Well, but he did. He did attack somebody. He attacked the helicopter pilot when the helicopter.
Oh yeah, but that was funny. You like that?
Yeah, exactly. But he did his job. Without that dog attack, the story might have ended there, and then they wouldn't be pals, and then he wouldn't be dropping Molotovs on bad guys from the sky. So yeah.
One other thing I loved about it was they made Humongous so fascinating without going into any detail. You know, why was he wearing them? How did his head get deformed? And I'm still fascinated when you open up the box and there's the World War I photograph, the medals, and I found out it wasn't SS, it was the old Prussian Totenkopf. It's like, what does all this have to do with Humongous? You know, it gets you thinking about him, so you want to know more about him, but you still want to see him die.
Yeah, there's a lot here. I mean, this could be a lot of fun fan fiction, you know, in that world. That's the thing about the Mad Max world is you want to know more about it.
Yeah.
And I really like the old Mad Max movies. The Furiosa stuff was fine, but it didn't have the magic that the old stuff has.
No.
George Miller has stated that the Humongous had suffered facial burns in an accident while serving in the military.
Yeah.
There you go. That's about the only backstory we get from George Miller.
Well, the other thing that I thought was interesting was that a lot of the people in his, feral, wild, gay boys club was, and I'm not making that up. That's what they refer to them in the movie as gay boys. But they were the same kind of police uniforms that Max had in the first movie.
Yeah.
Don't notice that? The helmet stuff? I mean, were those actual cops, or had they killed the cops?
I think they were repurposed helmets from dead cops.
I kind of assumed they were cops who joined up with the military guy.
No, I always
what I
assumed
thought.
that they were just like criminal bad guys that killed cops and took their stuff.
Yeah.
But it could go either way. It could be both.
And they weren't all gay, because remember the scene when Max drives the truck through and he rips down the tent and the
Full of
couple.
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Not many, but
it was. It wasn't all of them. I mean, I don't know if it was just the guy with the tail on his chaps.
Yeah, this is like I said, one of my favorite movies. Hard to beat.
yeah, and the girl with the flamethrower on the truck was hot. I liked her.
That's Virginia Hay. She's the blue girl in what the heck is her name? Farscape. Same girl.
Really?
Do you remember Farscape?
No.
I love Farscape.
Great series. Great series. You should definitely watch it. It's a sci-fi series. And she is, I can't remember her name. She's the blue chick. She's sort of an empath. It was pretty cool. Good show.
It was a good show, Scott.
Yeah, it's right up your alley, actually. You'd like it. A little dated now, and there's a dumb little puppet in it, but he's actually cool.
It's a good show. It's a fun show.
Yeah, you'd like it.
Okay.
So, y'all want to take a minute and tell the crew about the contest that we're having?
The writing contest?
Well, there's two. There's a trivia contest that for a guest spot on the show. Be a guest host while I'm out of town.
All right.
I guess I'll just tell it.
You're going to have to tell about it, because the only contest I was aware of, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to give you 100% of my attention this week. The only thing I was aware of was we're having a quick writing contest.
Well, starting next week, every day, Scott is going to post a movie trivia question.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm recruiting you, Scott, because you're the trivia.
I'm not the only one who didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
Well, Alan said that y'all would take care of it. But yeah, so for Watching Wyrd, we're doing our all of the shows have a opportunity to be a guest host if you win their contest, and we're having a big contest where you not only win a chance to be on this show, but you also get a copy of all of the writers' books, and that's if you write the story. But the trivia question is just for one of the spots to guest host while I'm out of town.
I would rephrase that, Hadley. You said that they're going to get copies of all of our books.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get a copy of one book from all of us.
Yeah, I'm giving you sons of bitches War and Peace.
Yeah.
All of our books. That's a lot of books.
Yeah, especially for me.
But it would be a fun time to do something like all the Mad Max films or something, and have someone like Max Crumb on them. Or Lando.
Oh, I don't think you'll stump Max Crumb on a.
Well, no, I'm saying it would be a fun thing to have if they won, to have them on the show.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway.
All right, y'all ready for some Bad Monkey?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the last episode of Bad Monkey Season 1. And it started off with an intense downpour and the death of the Dragon Queen, which I did not see coming. Did y'all see that coming?
No, I thought she'd be around for several seasons, actually. She might be, but not as a living person.
So there are major spoilers, guys. I'm sorry, but like I said, right from the beginning, we're thrown into this deadly confrontation with the Dragon Queen and Eve. You know, Eve, ever the opportunist, takes advantage of the stormy chaos, which results in Gracie's death. And it was all very interesting because Gracie's spirit visits her loved ones in kind of a reverse Christmas Carol. And we're reminded that her magic was real, and that from the beginning, when she said that she was going to bring a storm, she brought the storm. And but the last things that I think that she said, or one of the last things she said to Eve overall, was, "I hope you choke on your lies." And the irony being we'll see what happens with Eve. Yancey and Neville team up. They bring down the corrupt duo of Nick and Eve. And we have Nick and Eve trying to leave, which y'all remember Nick got stabbed in the back with the fishing pole.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad. He was paralyzed. Well, ever the opportunist, Eve decides that he's nothing but, going to basically weigh her down. So she steers him off into the ocean to drown a terrible death. And that's it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Did a shark get him, or did I imagine that?
I think you imagine that. I don't remember a shark getting him.
No,
yeah, we get to see Eve's true evil. And everybody knew anyway that she didn't care about Nick. She was just with him for the money and for whatever he could do for her. And that's kind of what she was about her whole life, I think. What can you do for me? And I deserve this. So she got hers in the end. I honestly thought we were going to see her next season too. I thought they were going to chase after her until once it showed her again, I was like, nope, she's dead. And the way that they did that was pretty good. You could see it coming. It was.
Well, she escapes to Portugal.
What's that?
And she escaped to Portugal, and there she died choking on a carrot.
Yeah. Choke on your lies. Exactly. Yeah. It was really well done. There was quite a bit to this season if you followed along, and it kind of ended with we don't really know where the relationship between Rosa and Yancey is headed. It looks like she wants a friends with benefits thing, but he wants more, and we're not really sure how that's going to go. I think she'll come around and they're going to be a couple again. But he did piss her off, and there's that. And I want to see more Scott Glenn. He's one of my favorite actors. He wasn't in it too much, but every scene he's in, he's fantastic. And in this last one, we get to see that Egg and Neville no longer hate each other. There's no violence there anymore because there doesn't have to be. So it was just
a job for Egg, just a job.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, the job was to kill Neville, and Neville didn't want to get killed. So yeah, it was well done. There was a lot to it. The spearing with the broken fishing pole was just that just for whatever reason that just looks so real.
Yeah.
And then you find out that a teeny tiny little fishing pole, something like this, and the guy's paralyzed. Hey, my dog's here. How did you get down here? Come here, Freya. Come up here. Come here. Say hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. All right. She doesn't want to say hi. She's here. Oh.
They didn't close up the Heather with the Weather story arc. I think that was mainly just to show Eve was a true psychopath. Oh, look at the baby.
She's a good girl. She's my GSP. And she's licking my keyboard. Don't lick my keyboard.
GSP?
Yeah, German short-haired pointer.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a good girl. She's a peanut. She's a tiny little dog. She's only 50 pounds. There was one up the street, and he was 90 pounds, so they can get big. She's little. But anyway, how'd they keep going? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say there was a lot of things they didn't wrap up with the Bonnie story, the whole thing with her. And I mean, that was just kind of weird. Rosa and Yancey, they, as good as they were together, when he couldn't let go of the Nick and Eve case and he just kind of left her hanging, that kind of destroyed their relationship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe.
And at the end, the Russian and the girl had moved in next door.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I love that.
That was good. Back to the fishing pole. I I don't like the things that seem so real, and that just I was like, oh my god, that looks so real. He just stabbed him with a fishing pole, and the guy's like, ow, and he falls down and he's paralyzed. I mean, it was so bad. Craig, she's 3.
Oh.
She turned 3 just a month ago, or 3 weeks ago. She's a 3-year-old pain in the ass, is what she is, but she is cute, right?
Better than having a 2-year-old pain in the ass.
You want to come up again? You want to say hi again? Come up. Come on up. Nope, she doesn't want to come up. All right, fine. Go lay down then, jerk.
Craig Bowen, I think Gamboa is a cat person. Not that there's anything wrong with cats.
I got 2 of them.
We have one too, Meatball. She's running around. I don't know where she is.
But I thought
cats. Well, don't anymore.
I thought the ending was great on this one. Everybody got what was coming to them, whether it was something good or something bad. I mean, the whole thing with Yancey and the girl there, yeah, but he doesn't have to worry about that big ugly house now. He's got that's all taken care of. So I think I loved Eve. I mean, I thought she got so dark in this one. She got much more dark than I would have expected. And she got what she deserved, beautifully so. Her husband got what he deserved. And I love the way they ended it with is there going to be a second season?
I hope there is, because I'm going to say chef's kiss on this. This was the best show we've seen in a long time.
Oh, right up the nose.
Give this
that's what
series is 1 out of 10 for me.
You can go ahead.
No, it was very good. I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely going to watch season 2. That was on Hadley. Hadley actually made that call. And I was like, yeah, we'll watch it. And it's so good. It was actually fantastic.
Vince Vaughn is a lot better in this than he was in Brawl at Cell Block 99.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. He nailed that character in the Brawl movie. I didn't particularly care for that movie. I'm never going to watch it again. But he nailed the character. And it just kind of shows his range to go from that to this, because that character was just a dick, but kind of a hero dick, and this he's just a hero not dick. So I guess Vince Vaughn's just a hero. But he played a bad guy in another movie. He was like a stepdad or something like that. He actually killed that too.
Oh, I just saw Max's season 2 of Silo starts in a couple of weeks.
November 5th, I believe, right?
Oh, I've still got to finish watching Snowpiercer.
Craig Bowen is watching Slow Horses, and he's liking it. It's good news. I think Rich watched that too and liked it.
Which?
Slow Horses on Apple?
Yes, I did. Well, I saw I think there's 2 seasons, maybe 3. And
3.
I watched
I
the
think
first 2 at least. And it was good. It was very good. That's the one with oh my God, Dracula. Who plays Dracula? Help me. Gary Oldman. Oh my God. Yeah, it's good.
And was it Kristen Scott Thomas?
Maybe.
She was in English Patient.
Oh, name's for me. I gotta look her up.
Don't even mention that movie around me.
Oh, it's just the actress, Scott. It's not.
I know, but that movie.
Oh yeah, she's in. Yeah, she is.
My first
She
wife.
plays the head of like MI5, right?
Yes, she is. She's the. So if you guys haven't seen Slow Horses, they kind of have these MI5 agents that they're kind of either on the way out, or they've really screwed something up, or they're just kind of dumb, and they put them into this little group in this little building, and they call them the Slow Horses. But the simple fact is they're all excellent agents. They just, like I said, they've screwed up, or they are perceived as doing something wrong, and they're saving the world, and It's pretty good. It's kind of a really laid back James Bond without all the cool gadgets, and then a
Who's
lot
in
of
it?
that.
Scott would love this show.
Yeah, that's
Look like it. It's called Slow Horses. Scott.
yeah.
Gary Oldman is
Who's
the main
actor?
character.
Gary Oldman. Okay.
Yeah, and
And
you can't go wrong with Gary Oldman.
And what's it on?
Apple TV.
Apple. Okay.
Come on. Now she's on this side. Look up there. Look up there. Look up.
Doc, that's good.
That's so cool. Well, I don't know what the next series we're watching is, but I currently am watching season 2 of Tulsa King and loving it.
So am I. Absolutely fantastic show.
Oh, Special Ops Lioness starts, I believe, is it this weekend?
I don't know.
Maybe that's our next one.
So I liked the first season of that. It was okay. I mean, it was a little sappy. I do like the characters, but I didn't like the mission. I thought it was
What movie series is
Lioness. Do you remember we watched that? The girl.
Oh yes,
the submarine goes and she's a spy and she's spying on. I can't remember.
Well, it really just depends on if they're going to stick with that storyline or change it up. Because if they change it up, it should be really good. But if we're sticking with that storyline, that was blah.
Well, the cover's blown, right?
Yeah.
So she can't.
You know what I mean? Like if they're going to take the team or if they're going to stick with that one character. I don't care about her. I'm not invested in that girl at all. But I am invested in the team because they were kind of kick ass.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was a good team. I agree.
So what is our 5 movies for next week? Do we know?
Next week is Halloween, right?
Yes.
And we were going to do the original Salem's Lot and the new Salem's Lot and the original Crow and the new Crow.
That's right. I've been saving Salem's Lot to watch it for next week's show.
I'm going to rewatch.
That original Salem's Lot is a long watch.
Mm.
Is it?
It was a mini series on TV. I think it's like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah, I think it's almost 4.
Yeah.
Well, do y'all want to do it or no? We don't have
Yeah,
to.
no, let's do it.
No, I don't mind.
Mr. Barlow is going to freak me out. And on that note, I guess we're going to let you kids go.
All right.
We're a couple of minutes early. It was a light week, I guess, without Gamboa here.
Yeah.
We missed him. We missed you, Alan.
Yes, we did, Alan.
It's not the same without Alan.
We missed you, Big Mike.
Everybody come back next week. It's Halloween.
That's right. And know what else it is? It is the Wyrd Realities 4th start of our 4th season.
Birthday.
Yeah.
4th birthday.
Hey, are we going to next week? Are we all going to dress up for Halloween for the show?
I'm already dressed up. I'm ugly.
I just can't see. Yeah, you can dress up all you want to.
I think I
But
know.
y'all forget to tune in and to the Facebook and do the contest and come and join the show on, I think, the 2nd or 3rd week of November.
I love this plan.
Details will come.
Yes.
Until next week, kids, stay weird.
That's going to do it for this week's show. For notifications each time the Wyrd Realities Network goes live, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. You can expect fresh weirdness 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. But before we depart, let me give a special shout out to our incredible patrons, Mike Lewis, Landis Saldana, and Alan Lassiter. We couldn't keep the lights on here at Wyrd without you. And a very special thanks to our partners that keep Wyrd Reality spinning. It's you guys who make our weird world go round. And if you're interested in supporting our endeavors, consider joining the Cabal of Wyrd over at Patreon. And keeping you entertained and bringing you new content is our goal with every cent that you donate. And if you are interested in partnering or sponsoring, be sure to send us an email at weirdrealities@gmail.com. We are always interested in making new friends and creating a new tapestry of strangeness with you. So, until next week, kids, stay weird, you beautiful weirdos.